Welcome back to this special edition of Jersey Matters, where we are covering the National Convention in Philadelphia, and we are with Senator Chris Coons from Delaware. Sir, thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be with you, Larry.
Let's start with a little bit of a controversy. That was the WikiLeaks dump of emails that seemed to show that the Democratic National Committee was helping Hillary Clinton win re-election and undercutting Bernie Sanders, even attacking his religion. What do you make of all that?
I'm struck by the allegations that Russian cyber hackers were behind hacking into the DNC and that WikiLeaks then released the emails. It's raised a great deal of controversy. I do think Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the DNC chair, has taken the right step in choosing to resign. She will be succeeded by Donna Brazile, who will run the DNC from here through after the convention through the election. I frankly haven't read any of the emails. I do think what you'll hear tonight here at the convention from Senator Sanders will reflect what I heard this morning from his campaign manager, which is this is a time for a united party. The Democratic Party will come through and out of this convention more united than ever before. Senator Sanders made a significant impact in his primary campaign, and that impact has been reflected in our platform. The platform, which I expect will be adopted later today by the convention, is the most progressive platform for a Democratic Party in decades and shows a real stamp, an imprint of Senator Sanders' campaign.
Let me start off with what you said about Russian hackers getting in, because you know what the Republicans are saying. The Republicans are saying, sure, if the Democratic hackers got in and found this at the DNC, then they must have also gotten into Hillary Clinton's emails. How do you respond?
There's no evidence of that. And frankly, I haven't been briefed on what's the intelligence background on the assessment that the Russians hacked the DNC. The last time I remember there being national news made of the DNC being broken into was during Watergate under Richard Nixon. I don't think, frankly, at the end of the day, that who said what in these emails is going to be that big of a deal from a national security perspective. But what concerns me is that it does suggest that Russia might be actually directly trying to interfere in our presidential campaign process, our electoral process. Frankly, over the next 4 days, what the average American will hear from this convention is much less about who said what in what email, much more a positive vision for the United States, an introduction of my friend Senator Tim Kaine, who is a terrific senator and would be a great vice president, and a clear and positive vision by Senator Clinton, Secretary Clinton, of what she would do for the United States as president.
The Bernie Sanders people say that your good friend Tim Kaine is too moderate.
Well, they don't know him. They don't know him as well as I do. Tim Kaine is a progressive Catholic. He is a person whose experience as a Jesuit volunteer in Honduras as a young man profoundly changed him, whose commitment to justice, to civil rights, to fighting for equality and for opportunity is profound. He is one of the most personally decent and kind people I've ever met. He's probably the best liked senator by both sides. And just because he is able to work with Republicans, just because as a former governor and mayor from Virginia, he has the experience of working with Republicans in municipal government and state government, doesn't mean that he lacks profound Democratic commitments and doesn't mean that he isn't progressive to his core. I think Tim Kaine will be a terrific vice president, probably the second greatest vice president in modern history after my good friend Joe Biden from Delaware.
Speaking of Joe Biden, that's what I was going to get to next. You said he's the most popular senator, probably the most popular politician in the nation right now is Joe Biden. In many ways, this will be the goodbye for Joe Biden, his final speech to the nation.
Oh, it's not his goodbye to the nation. It will be the end, probably, of 44 years of elected service, 36 in the Senate, 8 as vice president. But I absolutely don't expect the wonderful, big-hearted, scrappy, tough, and capable Joe Biden to be any shrinking violet in retirement. I frankly think that you will see him even more active than ever. I expect him to carry forward the cancer moonshot that President Obama has asked him to lead that is a lasting memorial to his son, Beau. And I think that you'll see the vice president called upon by President Clinton, should she be elected, as a special envoy, as someone to help tackle and solve some of the biggest problems facing our country. He's been a strikingly effective vice president. He drew on his 36 years of experience in the Senate. his global network of connections and relationships with world leaders to make a real and a positive difference for this country during the Obama-Biden administration. And I don't think this is farewell. I suspect you'll hear one heck of a speech from Joe Biden here, and I think that'll be the introduction to the next chapter in his role in national leadership.
The next chapter, as you said, is going to be this cancer moonshot. How much of that money and initiative would be coming to Delaware?
Well, I don't know how much of that might come to Delaware, but certainly the greater Philadelphia area, where there is a remarkable concentration of hospitals and universities, research in bio and pharma. The greater Philadelphia area is one of the greatest hubs of medical innovation and research in the entire United States. One thing about Joe Biden, though, he really hasn't, as vice president, focused on trying to, win special benefits for Delaware. He's really focused on being the vice president of the United States, and has left to those of us who are the governor and the congressman and the senator to do our job fighting for Delaware. He's not forgotten where he's from. He's not been mindless of Delaware's needs and concerns, but he really has conducted himself appropriately. And I would expect him, in leading a cancer moonshot effort, to look at what is best for the country and to look at what is the most likely to lead to significant breakthroughs. He's passionate about this. He's excited about it. And I do think the greater Philadelphia area will see some real positive outcome from a more effective and better coordinated partnership between the private sector, between research, universities, and hospitals, and the public sector at the federal level.
So I would imagine that you are fully supportive of a Joe Biden vice presidential library at the University of Delaware.
Yes, should there be some Biden Center at the university, I would be an enthusiastic supporter.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thanks for spending the time. I appreciate it. Chris Coons, U.S. Senator from Delaware. Our special edition of Jersey Matters continues right after this.